why people were shocked when they opened the Ark of Covenant. This episode is an exploration of one of the most sacred and fascinating artifacts of ancient biblical history, the Ark of Covenant. This artifact is not merely a historical or archaeological curiosity. It holds profound spiritual significance and teaches us about God's presence and covenant with His people. The Ark of Covenant was a uniquely crafted chest that God commanded Moses to build during the Israelites' exodus from Egypt. As recorded in Exodus 25, verses 10 to 22, the ark was made of acacia wood, overlaid with pure gold, and adorned with 2 cherubim of gold. The design was specified by God, highlighting its importance and sanctity. The ark served as the physical manifestation of God's presence with the Israelites. It was placed in the most holy place of the tabernacle, a special, highly restricted area where God promised to meet with Moses and speak with him from between the 2 cherubim on the ark's cover. Exodus 25, verse 22. This made the ark not just a religious symbol, but essentially God's earthly throne among His people, a tangible assurance of His immediate presence and guidance. Within this sacred chest were kept the stone tablets of the 10 Commandments, which God had given to Moses on Mount Sinai. These tablets were the tangible evidence of the covenant between God and Israel, a constant reminder of the divine laws that were the foundation of their moral and spiritual life. Alongside the tablets, the ark also contained a jar of manna, symbolizing God's provision, and Aaron's rod, which had budded as a sign of God's chosen priesthood, further symbols of God's ongoing relationship and covenant with His people. This is always a shocking revelation to all those privy to the content of the ark. The ark was central not only in terms of its placement within the tabernacle and later the temple in Jerusalem, but also in the spiritual and ritual life of Israel. It was integral to the annual Day of Atonement, during which the high priest would enter the Holy of Holies to offer blood of atonement on the ark's cover, known as the mercy seat. The purpose was to ensure reconciliation between God and His people for another year. Leviticus 16, verse 14 to 15. The Ark of the Covenant, therefore, stands as a profound symbol of God's throne on earth, His laws, His provision, and His eternal covenant with His people. Where is the Ark of Covenant now? The last known location of the Ark of Covenant in the Scriptures is instructive. King Josiah reigned in Judah from approximately 640 to 609 BC, and is renowned for his efforts to restore the worship of Yahweh after decades of idolatry introduced by his predecessors. His reign was marked by a significant religious reform, which is detailed in 2 Chronicles chapter 34. It was during these religious reforms that the last biblical mention of the ark's location occurs. In the 18th year of Josiah's reign, while repairing the temple, Josiah commanded the Levites to return the ark to the temple in Jerusalem. This directive is recorded in 2 Chronicles 35, verse 3, where Josiah instructs the Levites to saying, "Put the sacred ark in the temple that Solomon son of David king of Israel built. It is not to be carried about on your shoulders. Now serve the Lord your God and His people Israel." This command implies that the ark may have been removed or hidden during the reigns of previous kings, possibly as a measure against the rampant idolatry or political instability of the time. By ordering the ark to be returned to its rightful place in the most holy place of the temple, Josiah was reaffirming the centrality of the covenant and the law in the life of the nation. Josiah's reforms and the reinstatement of the ark came at a critical time in Judah's history. Despite his efforts, the geopolitical landscape around Judah was changing rapidly. The Assyrian Empire was weakening, and the Babylonian Empire was on the rise. Within a few decades of the ark's last mention, in 586 BC, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon would besiege Jerusalem, destroy the temple, and carry the Judeans into exile. The Bible does not record the ark being taken by the Babylonians nor being destroyed, leading to much speculation about its fate. The absence of the ark in the lists of temple items taken by the Babylonians, as recorded in the Book of Kings and Jeremiah, suggests that it may have been hidden away by the priests or other faithful to protect it from desecration or destruction. The Ark of the Covenant, as described in the Hebrew Scriptures, was not only a symbol of God's presence, but also a sacred object that demanded strict adherence to divine instructions regarding its handling. The consequences of deviating from these divine ordinances were severe, demonstrating the holiness and power associated with the ark. The rules for transporting and handling the ark were explicitly given by God. According to the laws set out in the books of Exodus and Numbers, the ark was to be covered with a veil of blue cloth and skins by the priests before being moved, Numbers 4, verses 5 to 6. It was to be carried on the shoulders of the Levites using poles inserted through rings on its sides. This is to ensure that it was not touched directly by those carrying it. Exodus 25, verses 12 to 14, Numbers 7, verse 9. Only certain Levites from the family of Kohath were permitted to carry the ark, and even they were not allowed to touch it directly or look at it uncovered. The punishment for doing so was death. Numbers 4, verse 15, 20. The story of Uzzah, who died as a result of touching the ark, is a stark illustration of the consequences of mishandling this sacred object. This incident occurred during King David's attempt to transport the ark to Jerusalem. This was a moment filled with celebration and good intentions, but tarnished by a critical mistake in following God's specific commands for moving the ark. As recorded in 2 Samuel 6, verses 6 to 7, the ark was being transported on a new cart driven by oxen. When the oxen stumbled at the threshing floor of Nacon, Uzzah, who was accompanying the ark, reached out his hand to steady it, touching the ark directly. According to the Bible, the Lord's anger burned against Uzzah for this disrespect, and God struck him down there beside the ark, resulting in his immediate death. Uzzah's death served as a profound lesson to all Israel, and to us today, about the importance of respecting God's holiness and adhering strictly to his commands. David initially reacted with fear and anger as he was displeased and afraid of the Lord that day, questioning how the ark of the Lord could come to him, 2 Samuel 6, verses 8 to 9. However, this event led David to carefully reconsider and ensure that the subsequent transport of the ark complied fully with God's instructions. The disappearance of the Ark of the Covenant is one of the most enduring mysteries in biblical history. After its last confirmed location in the temple in Jerusalem during the reign of King Josiah, the fate of the Ark, following the Babylonian conquest, and the subsequent destruction of Jerusalem in 586 BC, remains a subject of speculation and conspiracy. Several theories have emerged over the centuries about what might have happened to the Ark after Nebuchadnezzar's forces destroyed the temple. Here are some of the theories. Number 1. One popular theory is that the Ark was hidden to protect it from being captured or destroyed by the Babylonians. It does not mention the Ark being taken to Babylon with the other treasures from the temple, as detailed in the Book of Kings. This omission has led some scholars to suggest that the priests or other religious leaders hid the Ark when the Babylonian threat became imminent. Possible hiding places proposed by tradition include underneath the Temple Mount, in caves near the Dead Sea, or even in Ethiopia, as per the claims of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Number 2. The Ark was taken to Babylon. Another theory is that the Ark was indeed taken to Babylon, but was not documented or was lost over the centuries due to the chaos and successive conquests in the region. This theory, however, has less support because such a significant object would likely have been mentioned in the Babylonian records or the Bible. Number 3. The Ark was concealed by God. Some traditions hold that the Ark was hidden by supernatural means, either taken up to heaven or concealed by angels until the time is right for its reappearance. This idea is partly inspired by apocalyptic literature, such as 2 Maccabees 2 verses 4-8, which describes the prophet Jeremiah hiding the Ark in a cave on Mount Nebo, stating that the location would remain unknown until God gathers his people together again. Number 4. The Ark is still hidden, waiting to be revealed. A continuing belief is that the Ark is still hidden somewhere near Jerusalem, waiting to be revealed at a prophesied time during the second coming of Jesus. For me, this is the most likely scenario. The second coming of Jesus will herald the revelation of all things, including the presence of the Ark of Covenant. Whether hidden by human hands, taken to a foreign land, or concealed by divine action, the Ark of the Covenant continues to fascinate as a symbol of God's presence and a reminder of the divine history shared by the Jewish and Christian faiths. Regardless of its physical whereabouts, the Ark remains a powerful symbol of faith, God's law, and divine mystery. The Ark was much more than a physical object. It was a tangible sign of God's presence among his people. In the past, it served as the central point where God communicated his will and manifested his glory. Today, it reminds us that God desires to dwell among his people and be at the center of our lives. It challenges us to consider how God's presence is respected and made manifest in their lives and worship practices. The death of Uzzah for improperly touching the Ark serves as a stark reminder of the need for reverence toward God and his sacred instructions. This teaches us that God's commands are not just guidelines, but essential directives that require our obedience and respect. It calls on us to approach God with a sense of awe and worship that recognizes his purity and our need for sanctification. Furthermore, the Ark also symbolizes the covenant between God and Israel, containing the tablets of the law, Aaron's rod, and a pot of manna. These items commemorated God's guidance, provision, and promises. Today, the Ark encourages believers to trust in God's faithfulness and to remember his past deeds as assurances of his future promises. The mercy seat atop the Ark, where the blood of atonement was sprinkled, symbolizes God's justice met with his mercy. It was here that reconciliation between a holy God and a sinful people was enacted. This aspect of the Ark teaches us about the nature of divine justice. God is just, and sin must be atoned for, but he is also merciful and makes provision for reconciliation. For Christians, this points forward to the ultimate atonement made through Jesus Christ, whose sacrificial death fulfilled what the symbol and purpose of the Ark. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you will also like this one about the man that was struck down for trying to fight for God. Please help this project by subscribing to this channel. Like and share this video. Check the description to see how you can donate to us. God bless you. Amen.